Hello, my name is Henry Pearson, and I decided to do my presentation on the hammerhead sharks. The common name for my organism is the hammerhead shark. The scientific name for the hammerhead shark is pronounced the Sphunidae. The hammerhead shark belongs to the Chordata phylum. In terms of location, hammerhead sharks can be found in all oceans of the world. They typically enjoy temperate to tropical waters and are more commonly found near the continental shelf and shoreline. There are 9 different species of recognized hammerhead, although I'm sure some are being discovered all the time. Different hammerhead sharks are more akin to certain areas. For example, the scalloped hammerhead shark, which I will talk about later, it does share the same characteristics in terms of water temperature, but they also prefer like coral reef areas and are not necessarily only around the continental shelf. And hammerhead shark can also be found in like deep waters as well, but they just seem to be around the continental shelf. Hammerhead sharks are towards the top of their respective food chain, but surprisingly they're not the very top actually. They're not hunted, but they actually can be eaten by larger sharks and organisms, and the most notable examples would be the great white shark and like a killer whale. But of the bigger sharks, the more threatening one to them is the tiger shark, just based off of location. So yeah, they're not really eaten by much except for just bigger sharks, killer whales. The hammerhead shark location distribution is pretty consistent and spread around the ocean. As I said earlier, they do seem to prefer temperate and tropic waters and stick to the continental shelf, but they actually can be found all over the world in all the oceans. In terms of salinity, it does not seem to be that salinity affects their distribution. So as I said earlier, there are 9 different species of hammerhead shark. Some are endangered and some are stable. 2 examples of endangered hammerheads I will talk about. One being the great hammerhead, which is, as its name suggests, the largest of the hammerhead species. And the reason they are endangered is because they are hunted by humans. They are hunted by humans for multiple reasons. 3 of the most notable ones are their fins, the oil in their liver, and their skin. Their fins, shark fins, are used in like Japan and China and most of Asia to make soup. The oil in shark liver is used for medicinal purposes, and shark skin can be used as like leather. And then another hammerhead species that is endangered is the scalloped hammerhead, which I previously mentioned. These hammerhead are unique in a couple different ways. But the reason they are endangered is because these hammerheads are often killed by fishermen who mistake them to be another species of hammerhead. The scalloped hammerhead are actually like quite docile and not aggressive. And they're actually essential for maintaining their respective ecosystems. Their favorite food is lobster, but they feed on more smaller like crustaceans, smaller fish. So they can be used as a keystone species to keep other species in check. But yeah, I mean, hammerhead sharks can be found virtually anywhere. And just the crucial aspect about them in terms of location is that they want to stay near the continental shelf. One such place where you could find a hammerhead shark would be east coast of North America. So like over by like Virginia, over on that east coast. But I mean, you can find them all the way down to South America. They're everywhere, really. A food web that I constructed is shown here. It's a pretty simple food web for what you would expect out of a shark. So obviously you got like the primary producers like phytoplanktons, algae, which are then consumed by like the shrimp, krill, and the primary consumers. Then pretty characteristic, it would be fish as the secondary consumers. And then so hammerhead sharks actually fall into the tertiary consumers spots only because the quaternary consumers like great whites, larger sharks like tiger sharks, and killer whales they don't necessarily hunt them, but they do eat them for food. And then, of course, humans are always quaternary consumers. So that is my presentation on hammerhead sharks, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.